Hello, Maggie. In fact, let's give you your full title just for once. So I think that is correctly Dr. Dame Maggie Aderin-Pocock. So
it's a bit of a mouthful.
Fabulous though. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Tara McGeehan. I am the president of CGI for the UK and Australia. We're very proud sponsors of the Christmas lecture and have been for the last 3 years. And super excited that you're giving the lecture this year, so we thought we'd take a little opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about it. So, first off, how did you hear?
I've always sort of been fascinated by the Christmas lectures and watched them as a child. And I got a sort of a cryptic email from a member of staff here at the RI saying we should meet, maybe in person. And I was thinking, oh, okay. And so we met up here in December last year. And he said, would you like to do the Christmas lectures? It's the 200th anniversary. And I must admit, I'm not often gobsmacked, but for a moment, I was like, oh, yes.
It's such an honour, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's got such a heritage.
Yeah.
And so, but it's lovely that you sponsor it and enable it to sort of keep going.
Much like yourself, I watched it as a kid as well, and I grew up in South Yorkshire, and me and my kid sister, we were like watching it on our own mostly.
Yes.
And we had this Evel Knievel doll, and no matter what experiments happened, he was always involved in us reconnecting after. So if you can think about that when you do the lectures,
but bear in mind
that some Evel Knievel dolls will be involved after.
I will bear that in mind, and I can think of 1 or 2 experiments that might lend well to that.
And the Royal Institution it's a spectacular venue, but also such a proud heritage. Do you have a favourite scientist who's associated with this place?
Ooh, well, one of my mentors, well, not a mentor, but a role model for me, was Carl Sagan.
Oh, gosh.
And he did the Christmas lectures, I think in the 70s. And it's funny because he did the Christmas lectures, then he went on to make a series called Cosmos.
Yep.
I think because the Christmas lectures, he was getting the information out there, and he thought, I could sort of package this up and do it. And I remember watching Cosmos as a child, and sort of putting my school bag down and sort of watching the TV. So to follow in those footsteps just feels like such an honour.
So is he your favourite Christmas lecturer?
Well, I think there's highlights in all of them.
Yeah.
And it's funny because although I am attracted to the space and astronomy, it's sort of looking at genetics. I mean, last year it was about food and what we consume and things like that. So I love the variety of it. It's all science, but it's looking at the different aspects. And it's a wonderful portal to sort of understand some complex and very cutting-edge stuff that's happening.
Yeah, and at CGI we do a lot in the space sector, specifically around ground segment kind of IT work. So. Our staff are really excited about this time. Last year with the food was good because we all eat, obviously.
I know, yes. One of the necessities.
Yeah, on the necessity. But this time we've actually got people who, it's their jobs as well as their hobbies. And 2 times ago was all about AI, and that was really relevant to us as well. So
yes.
So
every other year.
Every other year, yeah. So we asked a bunch of our staff and their kids, interestingly, whether or not they had any questions for you, and we had hundreds. So we've distilled them down into a few select ones that I'm going to ask you, and let's see how we get on.
Perfect.
So the first one, this is from Dylan, and he wants to know, is the idea of someone walking on the moon a possibility ever again, do you think?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's that one done.
I know, let's move on. Actually, this is very exciting times.
Yeah.
Because the first moon landings were called Apollo, and they happened over 50 years ago. And so far, it's been 12 guys that have been to the moon. They've all been white, male and American.
Yep.
And now we've got a new project called Artemis. Now, Artemis was the sister of Apollo, and now NASA has promised to get sort of the first woman to the moon, someone from another country, and someone of a different ethnicity. I keep on saying me, but they're not returning my calls. And so, yes, and I think about April next year, 2026, they're going to be launching a vehicle that will actually go to the moon. It won't land on the surface, but it will go to the moon. And then in the near future, I think in the next 2 or 3 years, we will land on the moon again.
And it will be a manned. Wow.
Yes.
And you do think it's NASA then that will be there ahead of anybody else? There's a lot of people in this space race these days.
I know, and it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I like it because it means it's not a monopoly.
Yeah.
And it means that I think it's more likely to happen when there's a bit of competition. But I think NASA's most likely to get there.
Yeah,
yes.
And we're hoping for a woman at the very least.
I know. Actually, well, yes. Actually, I've met some of the crew. It was wonderful.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so the crew that are going to be launching it in April, I met some of them.
Gosh.
And I wanted to put on the uniform and just not pretend. Yeah. They wouldn't let me.
Well, none of them might get sick, Cool. So, answer to Dylan then, yes.
Yes, and in the very near
future. An interesting crew as well. Okay, well, Camera wants to know, this is an easy one, what existed before the Big Bang?
Oh, short and sweet. Well, it's funny because in the old days, because I've been doing sort of science communication for sort of over 20 years now, in the old days we'll say, well, space and time were created with the Big Bang. So it's like saying what came before time.
Yeah.
But now I think, especially with looking at mathematical sort of results and doing theoretical calculations, we're talking about not just our universe, which was sort of born in the Big Bang, massive expansion of space and time, but we're talking about the multiverse. Okay. So maybe there are many, many universes.
Oh, my word.
Yes. And so our universe could be embedded in another universe. And the thing is, I worked on the James Webb Space Telescope, largest space telescope ever built. So it's 1.5 million kilometres away from Earth and looks into deep, dark space. And it gathers heat energy, infrared light. And it enables us to look back in time at some of the very earliest stars. But it takes a finite time for light to get to us. So we can't look at what happened before the Big Bang because the light would never reach us because the universe is expanding. And so, but we can make a sort of theories and models and sort of look at what happened at sort of soon after the Big Bang and try and work it out. So in the past I would have said, space and time, nothing came before the Big Bang. But now there's all sorts of possibilities.
Gosh.
Which makes it really exciting for a space scientist like me and also the young generation because, we don't know, but maybe they'll find out.
And maybe in a multiverse world, there's another Maggie and Tara having this conversation.
We're sitting the other way round.
Sitting the other way round,
It's funny, I just wrote my autobiography.
Oh, yeah.
And I was saying that, yes, with this idea of multiverse, it's almost an idea that every decision you make, like I'll sit here or I'll sit there, I'll catch this train or that train, it leads to another universe.
Branches.
Yes, I know. Which is but I said in the start of my autobiography that I'm really happy with this universe.
Yeah, this is the winner.
Yes, because there's been many branches and it's been sort of a convoluted journey, but I'm happy with where I am.
But you wouldn't know how the other ones have landed up, though.
No. And there must be sort of a wide, sort of, hopefully a distribution of
There'll be
Maggie's
one
doing.
where you'll be on that rocket going to the
I know,
moon.
yes. I'll be sitting in the moon base enjoying myself.
Exactly. Well, I think that's clear now. I'm sure Kemmer agrees with that. Okay, well, this is interesting from Marcus. He wants to know, what are your top 3 must-see astronomy events happening in 2026?
2026. So astronomy events. So I was mainly looking at sort of locally. And so out through December, and we have various meteor showers. Yeah. And so that will be quite fun. We have Comet Atlas.
Okay. When's Atlas doing its thing?
Well, actually, Atlas is sort of coming. It's a comet, and comets are sort of the detritus left over from the birth of our solar system. Yeah. So they're almost like time packages, time capsules. And what happens is sometimes they get sort of nudged out of position and they fall in towards the sun. Atlas has been going round the sun and it's heading out again, but we should still see it in the night sky sort of during 2026, especially at the beginning of 2026, as it sort of heads off back out through the solar system.
So when's that roughly?
So we can see it at the moment, so we can see it in December, but it should continue out.
With
so sort of early
telescopes,
January.
though?
No, naked eye.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think you need to look, if you go online and work out sort of, the sun sets here, and get your bearings, you should be able to spot it.
Oh, gosh, okay. Did you have a favourite kind of film associated with astronomy? I'm just thinking of the Don't Look Up film. I don't know if you watched that.
I did. I do know. Yes.
Not a great outcome for a comet, that one. But
yes, I know. Yeah, comets can be
coming and hitting to Earth, but yeah.
Well, it's funny because at the beginning of 2025, there was what we call a near-Earth object, an asteroid that was sort of seemed to be coming quite close to Earth. And my sort of background is space science, but I'm a project manager. Right. And it was sort of risk management. The risk was only about 3% of it hitting the Earth.
That's really high.
But yes, it was quite high. But then also the impact was pretty catastrophic. And so we were monitoring this.
Should someone have told me about this?
It was in the news for a while.
It feels like, all the nonsense that's going on in the world. And then, a 3% chance that we're
all
over. Yeah. The other news. Yeah.
Yes, but that was early results. And what we do is we monitor these things. Yeah. And when we looked more closely at its trajectory, we realised it wasn't going to hit Earth, so we were fine. Yeah. But yes, these things do happen. Gosh. But we have telescopes across the world looking out there and keeping track of things to make sure that nothing untoward happens.
I mean, I guess 3% is a high risk, but
Yes, and also there are missions we can where we can do something. Because you were mentioning films.
Yeah.
I mean, there is Armageddon where they go and blow it up. Not a good idea.
No.
But I think one of my favourite films of all time is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, me too. I love that.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one that still touches my heart.
Yeah.
I watched it as a child.
Yeah.
And because I've always had that desire to go out into space.
Yeah.
It's sort of...
Yeah. It's about the same time as E.T. as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. And Star Wars came out in similar time.
Star Wars, good hat trick, yeah. And did they influence you into going into your career, or were they just kind of ratifying your decision?
Actually, I think the latter. Because
Yeah.
it's funny for me, I can't remember a time when I didn't want to get out into space, understand the universe. I think it's something I discussed in the Christmas lectures.
Yeah.
I think I partly got it from my father, because he was always saying he's a self-certified lunatic.
Excellent.
Yes.
Aren't we all?
I know, actually, yes. And it's genetic, because I am as well, and I've passed it on to my daughter. We sometimes go outside and howl at the moon.
Excellent.
And so he loved the moon, and he sort of passed that love on to me. And I can't remember a time where I didn't want to sort of find out more about space.
And was there a particular career trajectory for you then, from, were there certain O-levels, A-levels at the time, etc., you needed to do your job now, would you say, for the kids that are watching?
Oh, yes. Well, it's quite interesting because... you work in the space industry,
yeah.
And people always think, to work in the space industry, you need sort of a degree in physics or something, engineering.
Yeah.
And I've got a PhD in physics and a degree in physics and a PhD in mechanical engineering. But there's so many different routes you can take to work in the space industry, because it's an industry.
Yeah.
There's PR, there's law.
Yeah,
space law is fascinating, and so there's a wide range. But for my trajectory, it was sort of GCSEs and sort of physics, chemistry.
So you always knew, and you did the sciences and what have you.
Yes, although so I think the sciences almost chose me. I'm dyslexic, and it's something I think we'll discuss later.
I think maybe we've got a question on that.
Yes. And so I'm writing essays and things like that really weren't for me.
Right.
But also, one of the things I'll discuss in the Christmas lecture is that I went to 13 different schools when I was growing up.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Oh, yes.
Were you expelled?
Yes. That's what some of the kids are like. How naughty were you?
How naughty were you?
I don't think I was expelled at all.
You moved around a lot then?
I did, yes. And also with the dyslexia, I was always at the back of the class. And so I was dreaming of space. This was my desire. I was watching things like The Clangers and Star Trek and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I wanted to get out there. But I didn't really know how. But I think one of the things I like to say when I go out and meet school kids is have a crazy dream.
Yeah.
Now, my crazy dream is getting out into space. Even if I never make it, it's enabled me to do things I wouldn't have thought possible. And it means that when I'm sort of going on in my career and I don't get the right exam results that I wanted. So I did 4 A-levels in physics, chemistry, biology and maths because I'm a nerd.
They're tough ones as well, yeah.
But things I wanted to keep on understanding.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't quite get the grades. But when you have that sort of golden dream in the distance, it means you pick yourself up and
you just
keep
go
going.
again.
Yeah, and find a different route.
Yeah.
So I think have the powerful dream and see where it takes you.
And you did meet the Clangers, I saw that.
Oh yes, I know. That was because I loved them as a child.
Yes.
And you too.
Me too.
I know.
My sister knitted me one as a kid.
I was wanting to, my knitting was never up to it.
No,
hers
was a lot better than mine.
And yes, and so when they rebooted them a few years ago, they said because I said I became a space scientist because of the Clangers, they put me in it. Only the second human to visit.
Oh, amazing.
And I went to Altrincham where they make the Clangers, and they were there and they put the soup dragon in my hand, one of the puppets, and there were tears streaming down my face. And my daughter said, "Mum, it's a puppet."
No, was it the actual original soup dragon?
I did meet the actual original soup dragon because they've rebooted it, and it looks beautiful.
It was Michael Palin and what have you.
Yes, Michael Palin does the narration. I met him as well.
Oh my word! So this is a pretty cool job for doing cool things, then, isn't it?
Actually, well, I've got a Barbie doll made of me, and just. Basically, it's looking for those opportunities and seeing where they take you.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Right, let's keep going with the questions then.
Yeah. So I think we've covered that one. What's the coolest thing you've ever looked at through a telescope? Lily wants to know this.
Oh, Lily. Well, actually, Lily, there is so many fantastic things to see through a telescope. And I think one of my first telescopic encounters was I lived in a council flat in Hampstead, but I made one of the things I did was I actually ground and polished my own telescope mirror. And but one of the things that we used to do was we used to go, there was an observatory on Hampstead Heath.
Yeah.
We used to go in there, and I remember for the first time I saw Saturn's rings.
Oh, wow.
And it blew me away. But what really blew me away was the idea of light. Because light is made in the heart of a sun by a process called E equals mc squared, this fusion process that's going on, releases huge amounts of energy that goes out into space. So light travelled from the sun 1 billion kilometres out to Saturn. It reflected off the rings of Saturn and Saturn's body, and it fell in my eye.
Yeah.
The journey of that light, to be gathered by that telescope and to fall in my eye. It
And
just
your
gave me
realisation
goosebumps.
of that as well
Yes.
is spectacular.
And so one of the things I've been able to do in my career is make instruments, machines that go onto telescopes and take that light and analyse it. But yes, that gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
but when I made my own telescope, one of the first things I looked at was the moon. I'm a lunatic, so it had to be.
So you made your own telescope at home?
So I bought a telescope.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very good. We didn't have much
You
money.
took it apart?
Yes, and it had plastic lenses.
Oh, okay.
And so it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But then I was looking through a magazine, and it said there's a telescope making class at a local school down the road.
Oh, my.
This is when I was about 14.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I could make a telescope, I could do something better.
Yeah.
And so I enrolled and went along, and I just sort of went there, and you could actually grind and polish your own mirror. And sort of put it in a housing and make a sort of a small telescope.
It's a very niche class, isn't it?
It's funny, because I did it, I can't remember, 30, 40 years ago, and it's still going with the same teacher.
Oh,
So-
love that. Shout out to them then.
Yes.
That's fantastic, yes.
And look out, because you can make your own telescope.
Oh, I'm loving that.
It takes a while, but
Well, what's the rush?
I know. Universe will stay.
Okay, I think we've covered Lily's point. Let's move on. Why is it important for the UK to have a space industry? Mark would like to know.
Lovely.
We do have a good space industry.
We do. We have a booming space industry. And it's quite interesting because about 20 years ago, when I started going out and doing science communication, I was working as a space scientist.
Yep.
And I thought, pretty cool job.
Yeah,
brain
absolutely.
surgeon, space scientist,
Yeah.
it's up there. But one of the problems was when we were trying to recruit people, I wasn't getting anyone applying for the jobs. And so I thought, we need to get out there and wave the flag. Tell people that space science is available here in the UK. We do it extremely well.
Yep.
And so encourage more people to come and join us. And you don't have to go out to NASA or the European Space Agency. You can do it right here. So I started doing that. And yes, we're getting more takers, but we still need more. And I know with CGI, they work in the space industry and have a good understanding of how it is taking
We're
off.
in the tech side of the space industry,
Yes.
but I mean, there's such a merge now between technology and physical things.
Oh,
anyhow,
yes.
isn't
Well,
there?
the thing is, as a project manager making instrumentation, I sort of look at the optics.
Yep.
Sort of that came from the telescope making. When
I
I was a
am-
child.
I'm aware of that.
Yes, but then it's sort of looking at sort of the mechanicals to actually support the optics, and then the electricals to control the movements, and then the software. So it's all integrated into one. And it's the same with sort of technology. We need the ground stations to collect the data that's been gathered by the instruments that are out there. And so yes, it's an exciting time as well in the UK because we might get our own launch capability.
Oh.
So there's plans at the moment to have a launch capability to put small satellites into space, but right here from the UK's soil.
Is that down in Cornwall or up in the top of Scotland?
Up in Scotland, I think is the main one at the moment. But I think there's still plans for Cornwall. But it means that if you become a space scientist in the UK in the future, you can come up with a concept for a satellite, sort of design it, build it, and launch it, all from right here.
Wow.
And so I think, and it means, I think we're talking about agile sort of satellites, things you can sort of design and sort of get out into space very quickly to respond to.
That's fantastic.
And that's one of the things I'd really like people to know. Actually, it might be one of the questions coming up later.
Okay, hold that thought.
Okay, I'll hold it.
I mean, what we do have in common is Leicester, of course, Maggie. So it's my local office, so Leicester Space Park is where I tootle along on a Friday, and you're also involved with the university.
Yes, so I'm the Chancellor of the University of Leicester, which I'm very proud of.
Sounds amazing.
It is, but it's a grander title than it would seem, because all the real work is done by the President or the Vice-Chancellor.
Oh, okay.
And so he does the day-to-day running of the university. I sort of turn up and sort of smile and
You
wave.
wave, switch your coat, move in.
Yes. And I do actually have a cape, which I sort of...
Do you wear it every time you go up?
I wear it every day. only for sort of graduation ceremonies and things like that.
Or do you give out the degree diplomas and stuff? Oh, that's good.
Not all of them.
Right.
Although it's quite intense because sometimes it's sort of 1,200 students.
That's a lot of shaking.
It is, and also you've got to limit your clapping at the first because you're too exuberant. You've got to keep it up throughout. So.
See, that sounds quite a technical job to me. The swishing, the clapping.
We do lots of social media for it as well.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous. I mean, we CGI put. I don't know if you've been in the space park bit, but the globe that's in there.
Oh yes,
that's ours. So we donated that. We bought it as part of COP26 back when it was up in Scotland.
I attended that actually.
Okay, me too. And afterwards, we said, well, what are we going to do with it? And because we were at a space park, I said to the guys down there, do you want it?
Yeah.
We could hang it, and you've got huge empty space. We could hang it there, and then at least people could see it, and it could exist, and people could have their photos
and
taken
interact with it. Lovely.
So we have that in common as well. Next time you're there,
yes,
you'll think of me.
I'll have a photograph
with your swishy
with my
cape.
cape.
Yes. Send me that when you look. Okay, let's move on to the next question. If you could choose the theme for next year's Christmas lecture, what would it be, and what big question would it try to answer? This is from Mo.
Lovely. So we're doing space this year, and it was sort of food last year. And I think it might have been AI.
And AI the year before,
yes. And you see, because I love AI, actually I love all of those topics, but it's quite interesting. I think if I hadn't been a space scientist, I think the other two things I would have considered was genetics or neuroscience.
Oh, okay.
And so because as a space scientist, I talk about 300 billion stars in our galaxy and 200 billion galaxies out there, so the numbers are big. But when you look at our brain, it's a sort of similar complexity. And so, I find that fascinating, sort of, but see, genetics as well.
Yeah.
And nature or nurture, that sort of question.
I like that.
And also, we have some big decisions to make. I feel we have some very big decisions to make in space and how we utilise space and how we sort of use it in the future. But in genetics as well, because the technology is moving apace. Things like synthetic biology, ways of actually sort of generating specialised DNA, and so how do we want to use these things? And so I think that would be great for kids to sort of interact with that. One of the things that RI do is for each topic for a Christmas lecture, they actually hold summits across the UK, one in Leicester actually.
Oh, very good.
Yes, and they get sort of kids in to discuss the topic and give their feedback at how they feel about it. And so I've got the feedback on space and I'm trying to incorporate it in my talk, but one on genetics I think would be very interesting.
Fantastic. Maybe we could get Jim Al-Khalili to do it, because I feel he's a personal favourite of mine, and he seems to have been missed out on the whole Christmas lectures.
Has he not done one?
No.
Oh,
no.
That's surprising.
I don't know, maybe he's done something wrong in the past.
No. She's left the RI.
But assuming he hasn't, he could start swatting up now on genetics, couldn't he?
We
could make a case.
I think he's a nuclear physicist.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm sure. Hey, he's flexible.
Cool. Okay, so if you could go anywhere in space now, so imagine that you're on that rocket, what's the first thing you'd want to visit? This is from Ben.
Yes. Oh, see, just one. This is the
just the one.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing. Drop in, drop out.
Okay. I'm going to do one thing, but I'm going to do flybys.
Okay.
I'm cheating, but it's so. First of all, I'm a lunatic, so I'd like to fly by the moon.
Okay.
Then
just for photos.
Well, yes. You see, I'd love to walk next to the footsteps of Neil Armstrong, but I'm flying by because I'm not stopping. And then sort of through the solar system, Mars.
Mars. Yeah.
See, I'd be really tempted to stop off on Mars because there's so many questions. Oh, well, actually, Mars is quite cold. It's like Antarctica. It's funny because it's red, but it's red.
It looks warm.
I know it looks not quite toasty, but it's the temperatures of Antarctica, and it's red because it's rusty. It's iron oxide.
Oh, did not know that.
Yes, and also very very thin atmosphere, so you can't breathe the atmosphere. But definitely a sort of destination for a future colony, and there aren't many of those in our solar system. So I will travel out through the solar system. But the problem is now we're finding exoplanets.
Yeah.
So the problem is the joy is
the problem is where do you go?
I know. There's just so much choice. And so these exoplanets, when you look up at the night sky, you see stars. Now, each one of those stars is a sun like our sun.
Yeah.
It's only it's really far away. We live in a galaxy called the Milky Way, and it contains 300 billion stars.
Yeah.
Each one of those stars a solar system.
Yeah.
And what we're doing now is detecting the planets going around those stars. And it turns out that our next door neighbour star, out of the 300 billion, is called Proxima Centauri. It's 4.28 light years away, which is the distance light travels in a year, so 40 trillion kilometres. And it has an exoplanet. Ooh. And so I think that's where I'd probably go.
So that could be the one.
Yes.
Do you think that might be another Earth?
Well, you see, it's we know it's a similar size to Earth.
Okay.
With these exoplanets, they're really hard to detect. I mentioned sort of when we see Saturn, light comes from the sun all the way out to Saturn, falls in our eyes. The problem with these exoplanets is the stars are a pinprick of light. And so any light that planets don't give out light, they just reflect light from their local star. But if the star is just a pinprick of light, how are we going to see the exoplanet? Yes. And so, but we've devised ways. The main way is as an exoplanet goes in front of the star, the light from the star will dim by a small amount, and so we can detect exoplanets that way. And we've detected about 6,000 so far. So there's quite, and many of them we can actually detect using a special technique. As an exoplanet goes in front of the star, a tiny fraction of starlight will pass through its atmosphere if it has one, and we can analyse that. And we're finding exoplanets with water vapour in their atmospheres. Gosh. Usually maybe 2 or 3 times the size of Earth, but with water vapour.
Gosh.
Water vapour might mean liquid water.
Yes.
And so this is actually the main theme of my Christmas lecture, the search for life. And so through within our solar system and beyond.
So, not ruining the Christmas lecture or anything, but is there life on other planets, do you think?
I see, as a space scientist, I have to say yes.
Yeah,
because it's that numbers game.
Yeah.
300 billion stars in our galaxy.
We're not that special.
No, actually, and the thing is, as humans, we are so conceited.
Yeah.
And we used to think, we're
the only ones that would ever happen to be there.
Yeah, and we're Earth. We're the only, everything revolves around us. And then people, oh no, it's the sun. Yeah. Now the sun is one of 300 billion. And we're finding exoplanets around most of those stars. Yeah. So I think we would be conceited, again, to think we're the only ones.
Which kind of leads me on to, were you a Star Trek fan as well when you were a kid?
Very much. Lieutenant Uhura.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to love Star Trek. Yeah. In fact, when I was making my telescope, I used to grind and polish my telescope mirror while watching Star Trek.
Fantastic. I love that.
But also I think Star Trek meant quite a bit to me.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I didn't really feel I belonged anywhere. I'd go and visit my relatives from Nigeria, and they'll say, "Oh, Maggie, you're a lost Nigerian. You know, you've never been to Nigeria. You don't speak the language." So I felt a bit disconnected there. And then sometimes in the 1970s, I'd go and see people, and they'd say, "Oh, why don't you go back home? You don't belong here." So it felt as if I didn't really belong anywhere. But from space, you see our planet, and you don't see barriers.
You're a citizen of the world.
Yes, that's it. Humanity. Yeah. And Star Trek was just the same. People from all over the world, and aliens as well, like Spock, working together and going out and meeting the aliens. Yeah. So I think that really set the idea of community and travelling through space.
I totally agree.
So you live long and prosper?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually more of a Deep Space Nine person myself. So
I still like the original. I watch them with my daughter now, and she's sort of looking at me.
Oh, she'll get into it.
She will.
Okay. So, if you had a whole lecture to bust one myth about space or astronomy, what would you choose? This is from Alfie.
Alfie. Actually, a brilliant question, Alfie. And one of the myths I'd like to bust is what we use space for. And so I've been working as a space scientist for over 20 years, and I love my job. Yeah. And I do get to work on the blockbusters, like the James Webb Space Telescope, looking into deep, dark space. But most of the stuff I do is Earth observation satellites. Yep. So satellites that are looking at our planet and trying to help our planet, and just giving people a flavour of the sort of things we can do from space. So just to mention a few, one of the challenges we're facing at the moment is a problem with microplastics. They go into the oceans, Indeed. They congregate, they're a problem. Yep. Now, microplastics, by their very nature, are really tiny. When we look at things, and when we have an Earth observation satellite, they sit 350 kilometres above sea level, and they're not going to pick up microplastics. They're far too small. But a scientist a little while ago noticed that where you have sort of large conurbations of microplastics, the wave formation is different. Oh, yeah, okay. And you can measure wave formation from space. So now we're able to track the movement of microplastics across the oceans, but from space. Another satellite I worked on is Aeolus. Aeolus is a satellite that measures the wind speed in the Earth's atmosphere. And it does this by sending tiny pulses of UV light into the atmosphere. They reflect off particles moving under the influence of the wind. And therefore, at different altitudes, we're able to work out how the wind's moving. Now, the wind sort of links different weather cells. It gives us better weather prediction, but it also gives us a better understanding of climate change. And so again, from space, we can actually look down and understand. So it's debunking this idea that space, when we talk, as a space scientist, we just look out there. We do, and we try to understand the cosmos. Yeah. But the majority of what we do...
But we can turn around and look at ourselves as well.
The majority of what we do is, looking down at Earth and trying to help our planet.
Yeah, and CGI has been involved in a project with the seagrass people, exactly the same, trying to track seagrass, and so that save them having to go out in boats to look for colonies and stuff by looking for the patterns in the water again and saying,
from space,
from space, yes.
And it's a really efficient way of doing it, and it's an environmentally friendly way of doing it, because these satellites are in space, they're solar powered, you don't have to drive a truck out there, or a boat. So yes.
Yeah, so I think I'm totally with you on that. I think technology and science space together can help save the planet a little bit.
So 201, we'll do that.
Yes, we'll do that. Yes. Okay, Maggie, we're down to our last question, I'm afraid. So this is from Imogen. Imogen says, "You've done so many amazing things, but I heard that you're dyslexic like me. What would you say to kids who learn differently but still want to do big things in science?"
So dyslexia is a double-edged sword, if you ask me. And especially when you're at school, and especially when you first start at school, it's quite a challenge. Because dyslexics find reading and writing quite hard, and that's what it's all about when you first start at school. But dyslexics have so many strengths: communication, curiosity, empathy. These are good, powerful tools, and it's tools that we need for the future. And so I used to say I suffer from dyslexia, but now I can see the real positives, and I see it as my superpower. But I see that especially in science, because that curiosity, that logical thinking, all part of the dyslexic traits, and it's what we need in science. And if you look back in time at some of the great scientists, people like Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, these have all been neurodiverse people, and their thoughts have changed the world. So I think Imogen's going to go and do some fantastic things.
She's in great company. She just embraced her dyslexic self, that's what I say. Excellent. Thanks for that, Maggie, and good luck with the whole Christmas lecture thing. Me and the Evil Knievel doll will be watching you and hoping for the best experiments you can come up with.
I will bear that in mind.
Bear it in mind.
Thank you. Thank you.